Let me guess. When Friday night rolls around, you're not reaching for glittery shoes or scanning for a crowded rooftop bar. Instead, you take a deep breath, glance at your cozy living room, and think to yourself, yes, this is exactly what I need. I know you felt that pang of guilt, like you're supposed to be out there living your life instead of enjoying a quiet night in. After all, society loves to label people like you boring, antisocial, missing out. You hear those whispers and wonder if they might be right. Believe me, I wondered the same thing about myself. I used to worry that staying in meant I was somehow failing at life or missing something important. But then I noticed something. Those quiet evenings I kept for myself left me feeling clearer, kinder, and, ironically, more connected when I did go out. Over time, it became clear. Preferring home wasn't a flaw at all. In fact, it revealed some surprisingly rare strengths. Traits most people spend years trying to cultivate. When the noise of other people fades, you get a front row seat to your own mind, without anyone else's opinions or pressures drowning you out. That clarity is deep self-awareness. You're not hiding from the world. You're listening to yourself. Have you noticed that loud, chaotic environments drain you in minutes? That isn't fragility, it's fine-tuned perception. You pick up on subtleties that others overlook, and you get overwhelmed when the input is too intense. In a noisy room, you might notice every flicker of light and shift in tone, which is exhausting. Staying home isn't avoidance. It's smart sensory budgeting to protect a mind that feels deeply. It means you notice details others miss, a gift that can become a superpower in the right setting. Ever said no thanks to an invite without spinning a 5-paragraph excuse? That's not you being antisocial or rude. That's you respecting your limits. It takes maturity to choose your living room over yet another obligatory outing. It shows you value your time enough to only say yes when you mean it. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors with hinges. You decide when to open them. Isn't creativity supposed to be chaotic and social? Sure, sometimes. But plenty of breakthroughs are born in quiet. Picture a low-key night at home. Soup simmering on the stove, a mellow playlist in the background, and your mind finally free to wander. Suddenly, the solution to that problem you've been wrestling with floats to the surface. Home gives your brain the space to connect the dots without the constant ping of incoming distractions. Ever weighed a midnight Uber and a groggy morning against a good night's sleep and thought, actually, no thanks? That's not boring. That's being honest about trade-offs. You're managing your energy the way a smart investor manages money. You know that skipping one wild night out for some rest and a homemade breakfast will feel a lot better than dragging yourself through the next day exhausted. Knowing your limits isn't boring. It's downright smart. Ask yourself, if no one would know whether you went out or not, would you still want to? People who prefer staying in often move through life with an inner compass. You choose your activities because they matter to you, not because you're trying to keep up with the crowd. That's intrinsic motivation, doing what you genuinely enjoy, not what earns you social points. It's a quiet form of confidence. You might think preferring home means you have less of a social life. In reality, it often means the relationships you keep are fewer, but so much deeper. While others collect acquaintances at every happy hour, you invest in slow-cooked connections. It's the unhurried dinner with your partner, the weekly walk with your sibling, the board game that turns into inside jokes between close friends. Depth isn't flashy, but it lasts. Here's a twist. The person who slips out early or skips the party might actually be the most resilient one in the room. Why? Because they're practicing regulation, not running away. When you sense you're nearing your limit and you take time to reset alone, you're preventing tomorrow's meltdown today. Over time, that habit teaches your nervous system to trust you. You come back to the world calmer, with a steadiness that others start to notice. You're not being fragile or overdramatic. You're being precise about what you need. By now, staying home is starting to sound like a secret superpower, isn't it? But you might still wonder, is there a catch? Could too many nights turn into something negative after all? Truth is, there's a fine line. Chosen solitude is powerful. But if you start staying in only because you're afraid or sad, that's not the healthy kind of alone. Unwanted isolation can creep up and bring real risks like loneliness and depression. We're social creatures, and we all need some connection. The good news? When you actively choose your solitude for positive reasons, you're in control. You're doing it because it nourishes you, not because you have no other option. And that makes all the difference. If the quiet ever starts to feel empty, you can always reach out and reconnect. You're alone by choice, not trapped. And what about that introvert or extrovert thing? Honestly, it matters less than you think. You might be an introvert, or you might just have a sensitive nature or a crowded mind that needs more space. Labels help sometimes, but they don't define you. What really matters is that your solo time leaves you feeling more you. Don't get hung up on what you're supposed to be. Focus on how it actually makes you feel. What if your friends don't understand your need to stay in? They might not, and that's okay. Not everyone will get it. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. And if a relationship constantly demands that you ignore your own needs just to keep someone else happy, that's a red flag by itself. Explain to your real friends that recharging alone makes you a better friend when you do show up. Remember, you're allowed to be the friend who suggests a cozy night in instead of a wild night out. Host a relaxed brunch at your place or a board game evening on your terms. The right people will happily meet you in your comfort zone. If home is your sanctuary, treat it like one. Create little zones that inspire you. A reading nook by the window, a mat for yoga or meditation, a desk for your passion projects. Make good habits the easy default. Leave your journal open on the coffee table. Put your guitar on a stand. Keep a water bottle within reach. And dial down the doom scrolling and negative noise. Mute the online voices that drain you and surround yourself with things that spark joy and curiosity. One more thing. Use your solo time intentionally. Don't spend the whole evening on the couch scrolling through feeds or torturing yourself over something embarrassing you said 10 years ago. Solitude isn't about stewing in boredom or regret. It's about doing what actually nourishes you. Read something inspiring, cook a new recipe, play a game, create something. Whatever makes you feel alive. If you love your living room more than the loudest nightclub in town, there's nothing less than about that. In fact, you're likely practicing some of the rarest skills out there. Listening to your own needs, protecting your energy, choosing depth over drama, and building real resilience. So the next time everyone else is pushing you to go out and your heart's just not in it, remember that you're allowed to say no. Maybe shoot them a quick message like, "I'm keeping it cozy tonight. Have fun and we'll catch up soon." Then lean into the evening you actually want. Make the soup, open the book, write the paragraph, water the basil. Trust that quiet can be a power move, because for many of us it is